Good? It's your boy Derek Branch here, Strike7Sports.com. Episode number 41 of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. Joined by Brian Bottom, my co-host of the Strike 7 Sports Network. It's another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. So we're just going to jump right into it on what we've observed of has been said, what has been done over the weekend concerning our Memphis Tigers men's basketball team, coached by Penny Hardaway. Man, the team right now is on a three-game losing streak right now. Just ain't been looking good for the team. Not living up to expectations. There's been a lot of quotes came from this game against Mississippi State, not Mississippi State, Ole Miss on Saturday, which was also a big deal. It was a big deal of sports, but this Memphis versus Ole Miss game had a lot went down. It was a close game, but Memphis lost this matchup. And I had like early Sunday morning, when I was getting up, I was reading. I was on the athletic website. I'm a paying subscriber of it, and that's a story pretty lengthy story that came down. Some of the quotes from Penny Hardaway was written by college basketball writer Seth Davis, and the title of it is Penny Hardaway signs off on Memphis veterans. We've got so much negativity in our locker room. So I'm going to scroll down on it real quick and read some of the quotes of what he said. We got so much negativity in our locker room with veterans being jealous. Hardaway told The Athletic during a telephone interview after Saturday's loss. Everybody's trying to get to the NBA off the ranking we had, but nobody's willing to sacrifice minutes, touches, and anything. It's been miserable. You can't imagine what a 17-year-old is thinking as he's trying to figure it out. Hardaway declined to name names. I don't want to do that. I don't have time to deal with angry parents, he said. But three upperclassmen who had been in the starting lineup with Bates and Durant are 6'5" junior guard Lester Keona, 6'7" redshirt junior forward Landis Nolley, and 6'9" senior forward DeAndre Williams. Keonis and Nolley combined to shoot 1 of 5 with 4 turnovers Saturday, while Williams had two rebounds in 23 minutes to go along with 13 points. Durant was limited with 2 points and 4 rebounds in 21 minutes because of foul trouble. Hardaway said he intended to shake up the lineup in the days ahead, distributing most of the minutes to the players he believes will play the hardest and put the team first. I'm going to have to be a complete a-hole from this point on. only to play the players that care. He said, "There's a group of people on this team that if I played them, I feel in my heart. I really feel in my heart we could be undefeated, only have one loss. The main reason we have these losses is the veterans don't want to take the young guys under their wings. They want it to be about them. So when adversity hits they run, I guarantee you will start winning because you're going to see these guys out there who care and will carry out the game plan. They might make mistakes, but they're not going to be any character issues." So I'm just going to end it right there with in regards to the article. I'm just going to talk about what would you deem to be fair criticism or critiques of Coach Penny Hardaway's style. And there's a huge I would say segment in the fan base, out in the public and on social media that kind of, take it pretty hard when you get at Penny Hardaway. You try to criticize, and they'll say things like You don't know basketball. You never played basketball, or you hating on Penny. I'm glad you're not the coach. And to me, it's some of it is fair, some of it ain't. But and nobody's hating on Penny. Nobody is hating on the guy. That's our job is to critique, man. As journalists, we are supposed to critique these guys. We're supposed to find the truth about what's going on with this team. We're supposed to find out why this program is the way it is 4 years in. You bringing in 4 and 5 star recruits. You bringing in players from the transfer portal that are pretty good. So I also want to ask you, what would you deem fair criticism of Coach Hardaway right now? Because
The
the
most,
beehive, they jump on you, you
yeah.
know.
Look, the number one thing is, and some of it's not his fault, but if you haven't proven that you can run a successful basketball program, then there's going to be criticism, whether you like it or not. Number two, he has to make the tournament. He's yet to do that. That's fair. And he even said that making it is a must. And so, not those people, I just ignore them because they just want to make noise to just make noise. All the criticism for the most part is fair criticism, and we all get constructive criticism or just fair criticism whether we like it or not in life. Whether we take it or use it, it's up to us. But again, they have plenty of time. Their goal is to make the tournament. Anything but that is a failure. So no matter what anybody says, and I was even saying if they did it like Georgetown did it, Georgetown won the conference tournament. They were able to make the tournament, and they got beat in the first round. That was fine, but they still made the tournament. So it doesn't matter how they make it. As long as they make it, they'll be all right. If they don't make it, then they'll be interested in what happens. Penny won't be fired, but I could see him making a lot of household changes. I could see him even stepping down if he's really that miserable and doesn't want to do the job. But it's fair criticism for what this program is doing right now. They're underachieving. And he can blame a lot of people, but it all starts with him because he's the boss man. He brought these players in that he's he controls who plays and who doesn't play. He can't control what they do on the court, but he can control if they're on the court or not. And so until all of that changes and until they make the tournament, he's going to get a lot of criticism, and it's fair.
Yeah, that's true. But here's my thing on it, my take on it. I think a lot of times, even certain media members, fans, casual fans of the program, just diehard fans in general of Memphis, they act like this is a NBA 2K on Xbox where you're in control of the team, and based on what you do, what level you play on, it's gonna work. It's like people forget, man, that these guys are human beings. They're really young. They got aspirations to get into the NBA. And I don't know, regardless if it's college or pro, college football, NFL, NBA, I don't know I can't name one team, one great team that had a symbol of great talent to put together that haven't had the issues first and then got together. I haven't heard of one yet that everything just clicked right away in the first 1 or 2 months of the season. I never heard of one. Have you?
Nope.
I never. And this stuff gonna take time, bro. You're dealing with the kid with Miami Bay, 17 years old. These guys are young, man, and it's gonna take some time, bro. It's gonna have its growing pains. Like it wasn't gonna work like that, man. It ain't gonna work like that. Also, in regards to Penny critiquing him, the first 2 years of his tenure, I get it. Hey, he lacks coaching experience in big games, coaching against guys like Bob. What's his name in Houston?
Uh, Calvin Sampson.
Yeah, Kelvin Sampson. Other big names. Right now he's just being our coach. The whole Wiseman situation, COVID, I get it. Third year, I give him a little bit of a pass, but you still had your chance to get to the tournament. Well, based on what I saw, you still had your opportunity. This year I've seen the same pattern with turnovers, the same stuff, turnovers, missing free throws, all that other stuff. Not establishing a leader of the team, as you know what I'm saying, not establishing somebody that can be a floor general of the team, of the offense. Now I'm starting to wonder. That's where I get at with Penny Hardaway. What has he learned during his time as the head coach? What I mean, you know, what's the issue? What are they doing in the off season, man? They're not. The guys are missing free throws, man. I watched that game. What it was Saturday against Ole Miss. They could have won that game easily if they made the free throws. It's the same thing as last year. Missing free throws, turn the ball over. That's costing them the tournament, man. And I think they got what are we playing on Saturday?
They play
Not Saturday.
Friday. Murray
Yeah,
State.
Murray State. And when's the Alabama game?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Yeah.
I mean, look, you can lose these games against Bama and Tennessee, but when the tournament time comes, the conference play time turn, your margin for error is slim.
Yep.
You're gonna have to. It's okay to lose these games, but you gotta tighten up once the conference play starts. You have to tighten up. He has to tighten up because if you don't, it's gonna be just like last year when you losing games because of simple stuff, and it's costing you tournament. But then you get into a situation where you have to pretty much win out at the AAC tournament to get into the playoff to the tournament to impress the committee, because they don't play. So that last year, I was like, man, I was like in denial, like they're gonna make tournament, man. They're gonna press them up, and when it came down to it, it was like you didn't make it. They gotta tighten it up. They gotta tighten it up at least I would say by before February. At least get it going, get things going by January. By
I would say
February,
right
go ahead.
before conference play. That's what I
Yeah,
would say. Figure
yeah,
out
before,
everything you need to do right before conference play because this conference, it's not great, but it's not going to be easy. Some days
yeah.
Cincinnati is going to be tough. Houston will always be tough. UCF will be tough. Tulsa is always a tough match.
SMU,
Oh, SM, yeah, I even forgot. See, there's so teams, I can't even name them all. That tells you it's going to be tougher than people think. And if you
yeah.
have these issues, it's going to be even tougher than it should be. But we'll see.
And then another thing that's getting Penny too, and getting the program. The teams that they play against are teams that have experience, man. However, we got guys. Lester Keon has been here for a minute since 2018. Um, Malcolm Dandridge, that's his name, right? Center.
Yeah.
Malcolm Dandridge has been here. Uh, Not DJ Jeffries. I mean, Alex Lomax has been here. That's three guys, three veterans right here, man. They shouldn't be like, they shouldn't be playing like this, man. Veteran team. And I'm starting to wonder, do you even need 4 and 5 star recruits to even dominate the AAC or to even win the tournament? Because that's what you're seeing in it right now. That's winning games. That succeed in March Madness. It's teams that's been together for a while. Why do you think Kentucky is struggling? Duke. You know? So I'm starting to wonder if the whole one and done thing is even needed for this conference. Go ahead. You got your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's kind of. I think you have to have a little bit of both, but rely heavily on veterans, and then have a few. Like for example, Gonzaga, they had veterans and one really really elite player in Jalen Suggs. That's the model, in my opinion. But if you're just relying on younger guys, that's a recipe for disaster. You got to have veterans. You got to have good guards, which Penny Hardaway, it's really shaking my head. I just don't understand. Please help me understand. Year one, you don't have a great point guard. I'll give you a pass. Year two, maybe I'll give you a pass. Even last year, I'll give you a pass. But this year, going in, there is no reason why they should not have gotten a point guard. That just doesn't make any sense. But it's too late now. They just gotta work with what they have. But I think not having a point guard is ultimately gonna cost them if they're not careful. But figure out your rotation. Figure out how to run really good offense every possession and get a high percentage shot every possession and take it from there. And then defensively, figure it out because, I mean, against Georgia, they gave up a lot of points, especially in the paint to Georgia. And they're an awful team. Their coach may even get fired. That's how bad Georgia is. That was an awful loss. But I think it was a wake-up call, and you can learn from these, but they better get together quickly if they want to make the tournament and want to get – and it's funny how Penny was worried about criticism. Critics only come if you lose. If you win, then they won't be there. But he shouldn't be worried about what people are saying in the media, and he should be worrying about how to get this team playing the right way and playing good basketball. That's all he should be worried about. But we'll see. We'll see.
So what do you think Alex Lomax's role is with this team, man?
I think he takes a lot of heat. I think he's a solid role player. Probably better coming off the bench. I think he's a solid role player. If he's your starting point guard, I'm not sure if that's his role. But if he's coming off the bench, I think he can. He actually played well against Georgia. I thought he played pretty good against Ole Miss. So I think he takes a lot of unfair criticism. But for what we have, I mean, I would take him over a lot of our players because you just, for the most part, you know what you're going to get. He does have some turnover issues, but he always plays hard. He gives it everything he can, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. I just think he's better served coming off the bench. It's not I thought they would have developed him into being the point guard, the floor facilitator, but nah, that's not happening. Things gotta happen, man. I mean, I don't know who's gonna make the sacrifice and start leading the team, but it has to be somebody, you know. Because if not, man, it's gonna be a long year and be another wasted year with great players. So we'll see how it goes, man. But the Beehive, I mean, some people starting to speak out now. They're starting to, doubt him now, from what I see.
Yeah.
But we'll see how everything play out. All right, moving right along. Our next topic we're gonna talk about is this college football playoff reaction. The reaction to our thoughts on the Final Four that was released on Sunday afternoon after Championship Saturday. We saw Oklahoma State almost got there, but was a yard short to get in the end zone, so they didn't make it. Alabama shocked. I mean, I would say shocked. I won't say they shocked everyone, but they showed up. Man, like magically, those offensive line issues went away against Georgia. Michigan pretty much demolished Iowa to get into the playoffs. Cincinnati did what they had to do to beat Houston. Now they're into the playoffs. So the final four rankings came out this past Sunday, and then Alabama's ranked number 1, Michigan at 2, Georgia at 3, and Cincinnati at 4. So the way they got it set up now is Alabama will play Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl, which is a semifinal game, and Michigan plays Georgia, and the Orange Bowl. That's another semifinal game on I think they're New Year's Eve. They're both New Year's Eve games. New Year's Eve games that we're gonna see play. But I just want to ask you, it's not really like a prediction type thing or anything like that. We're gonna get down to that, later in the weeks, building up to that those games. But I just want to ask you your thoughts on the Final Four college football playoffs. What do you think?
Number one, I love it because there's new blood. There's new teams. Who would have thought coming in Cincinnati or Michigan would have made the playoff, but here they are. And then Georgia, they get another crack at it. I think that's fair to see if they can win their first title under Kirby Smart. And then Alabama is there yet again. So I love it. It's going to be really, really interesting to watch.
Yeah, Alabama, man. Nick Saban, I don't know what's it gonna take to knock this dude off the throne, man. When you think he's down, he's up. Um, I don't know, man. He gets the guys prepared, man. Georgia, I made like a video on this, like the day after the play of the SEC championship game, about pretty much getting at Kirby Smart, and I felt like he kind of got a little too comfortable with having Stetson Bennett as his starting quarterback. And I know Bennett was playing well and all that, but I think you needed JT Daniels. You're gonna need JT Daniels to play in the playoffs. Because I don't think Michigan is gonna be a pushover like everybody thinks that it's just gonna be. Their pass rush got, I think, two first rounders on it, and Aiden Hutchinson and Ajagba.
Jabba.
Yeah, Jabo. Their offense is kind of similar to Georgia's, but they use a two quarterback system sometimes. Their secondary is really good, so that's going to be a very interesting matchup. And I bet sure that it was more than likely that they're going to show the Alabama game first, and then Michigan's Georgia game is going to be prime time game at the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for Georgia, man. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for Georgia. I think he's going to need JT Daniels to win that football game. Cincinnati and Alabama. Cincinnati has a really good defense. If they can get pressure behind that Alabama's O-line, get past it, get after Bryce Young, they might have a chance. So we'll see. Your thoughts, please?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I got to wait before I make my predictions, but I agree with everything you said. Michigan won't be a pushover for Georgia. They'll give Georgia a game. I believe Georgia will probably still prevail, but Georgia will be – they better come to play or Michigan can beat them. And Cincinnati, I'm not saying they'll beat Alabama, but I think that game will be closer than people think. I'll put it that way.
You ever notice that in these big games with Alabama, it's like the venues, the neutral spots, always like plays favor to him, to Nick Saban. It's always they're always in a place where the fan base, their fan base can travel. It's like a hop. It's either Dallas, one of the stays in Florida, or in Atlanta. Or if it ain't those three, it's New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, man, it could be that year, man, when somebody can get up and go home. I was looking forward to seeing what happens, man. But we're gonna talk more. We're gonna dive more dive a little more deep into it as it build up, man. Because I got a lot of thoughts I want to put down, a lot of content, a lot of breakdowns on these matchups. But we'll see how everything plays out. We're gonna take a quick break, read off an ad, make some bills, and be right back. Support the Strike 7 Sports platform's growth by heading over to fanatics.com and purchasing officially licensed gear from the NFL, the NBA, and more. Each purchase made through the text link below goes into the funding of the Strike 7 Sports brand. To proceed, click on the link, strike7sports.com/fanatics. That's strike7sports.com/fanatics. Enjoy. All right, we're back. So next we're going to talk about Bryce Young. And when I say this, I don't think I properly if I pose this question. Is Bryce Young the greatest Nick Saban era in Alabama QB. So I'm just gonna bring up some stats here. I'm just looking at 1 year. He threw for 4,300 yards, 43 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 88.9 QBR. He's 6 feet, 194 pounds. Now, if he came out this year, he could have come out this year, he'd be the number one pick in the draft. No questions asked. No doubts at all. He'd be the number one pick in the draft. But I think next year will be his turn. He'll get his shot. I think he's gonna walk away with the Heisman this year after what he did against Alabama, against Georgia's defense, shredded them. I think 400 yards passing.
I don't know exactly, but he tore them up.
He tore them up. Now, a QB like this back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, wouldn't even be drafted, man. With these numbers, they wouldn't draft a guy like 6 feet. They wouldn't even go in as a type of quarterback, but things have changed. And I'd like to ask you the question, is this the greatest QB we've had under Nick Saban in Alabama?
I'll say he has a chance to be the best. But I'll get Tua right now. I still give him that slight edge. I still give him that slight edge. But yeah, I think Bryce Young is on the right track. Hold on, let me read one of the comments from Gabe King, a voice I really respect. He said, Bryce Young, 2-time Heisman, not out of the question, has to come back next year. I'm guessing he's saying that he thinks Bryce Young can win it next year too. I think that'll be interesting. It's hard to repeat, but Archie Griffin did it, and Bryce Young has the talent to do that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so just closing thoughts. Yeah, I think Bryce Young has a chance. I still would give the edge to Tua because he really did it one game if you really think about it, and then for a whole season. But if Bryce Young, he'll have to win an actual championship. That's like a must. And then if he continues on the trajectory he's headed on, he'll definitely be the best one.
So you think he's better than Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, definitely. Jalen didn't win anything. Jalen's a
legend. Yeah, he didn't.
It's not a knock against Jalen Hurts. It's just another thing. Bryce Young is just he's an elite passer. He can run. He's basically Jalen Hurts, but he can really throw it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mac Brown won national championship. Tua won national championship. Jalen Hurts, he didn't win national championship, but he got a really good resume. Role. His resume is pretty good in college football.
Yeah.
All these guys, I think none of them went below the second round.
Well, yeah, Jalen went in the second round, but yeah, you can make a case Mac Jones should have definitely been taken higher. I think Tua was right where he needed to be, and then I think Bryce Young will probably be the number one pick if everything goes the way it's going.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just Nick Saban is actually this dude got NFL quarterbacks on there, man. You know what I'm saying? Before he had game managers, like, dink and dunk QBs. Now he got guys that can run out of the pocket, make plays, get the ball down the field. It's crazy, man. Like, this dude, like, he doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? So I think he could be the better at the professional level. I think he could be better than all of them. Tua and Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones. Even though Mac Jones is still growing, with Belichick. I think Bryce Young is going to be the better QB. The thing is, where he's going to go? What franchise is going to draft? Is it going to be the Detroit Lions? Who knows? The Saints? He got to go to a good spot, man, a right spot, man. But we'll see, man. All right. So moving right along, last topic for the night, that concerning the Los Angeles Lakers. So I got these standings pulled up right now. The Lakers are 12-12, 7th seed in the West. I've been hearing, little bits and pieces of things, but possibly happening with Frank Vogel getting fired midway through the season, things like that. I got some audio from a few commentators on, from those the networks that I want to play. Whose thoughts on it, Brian? Let's start off real quick with who. You should know I'm going with this one. Rate the 20-point deficit. They showed me when we were down. My point is that you got to crawl before you walk when you're a New York Knicks fan, along with various other franchises. Los Angeles Lakers are the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a different standard. And what I am saying is that if I'm looking at you and I'm saying ain't no way in hell you winning the championship, that's my definition. 24 games to the season? Let me finish. I'm just expressing what my belief is as it pertains to relevance to the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. If this were the Clippers, I wouldn't say that. If this was another team without those championship expectations, or championship expectations were foreign to them, I wouldn't say that. But I'm saying when you're the Lakers and LeBron James is the face of your franchise, and you got Anthony Davis, and you got Russell Wilson and Russell Westbrook, and I'm looking at your franchise, I'm like, ain't no way in hell you wouldn't chip. Okay, that's relevant. That's relevant. So for me, I'm saying to you this: the Golden State Warriors are the best team as far as I'm concerned. Right now, today, ain't nobody in the West. The only team that's got a chance of beating them is the Phoenix Suns. The Los Angeles Lakers might not make it out the first round. This is what I'm saying about the Los Angeles Lakers. And you might be right, but they ain't beat Phoenix and they ain't beat the Warriors. But I don't know that 24 games into the season, neither do you. But did you cover the NBA? No, we're talking about the Lakers. All right, no. You're saying they can't get out. You're saying they can't get out the first round. You're saying they can't become irrelevant. I'm saying that's how they look like they're very good. But I will say they become irrelevant. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that. Let me say this to you, never. Let me guarantee you this. Warriors. But we're not talking about stuff bringing up the Warriors. I agree with you. Based on the way that they're playing right now, ain't no way they got to. All right, so that's that segment. I'm gonna give it to switch over to Charles Barkley. What you got to say? A half hour until okay, no, what do you got something you gotta unload? Yes. What is it? Camera 4. That's my camera? Yes, it is. Hey, listen, y'all know I think that most reporters are cowards. They want to be friends with these players. And y'all just proved my point again. For the first month of the season, y'all blamed everything on Russell Westbrook for the Lakers bid putting all them old-ass geezers together. And y'all blame Westbrook. Now I hear y'all go fire Frank Vogel. Listen, Russ is learning. Frank Vogel is a terrific coach. Put all them old-ass geezers together just trying to blame other people. It ain't right and it ain't cool. Listen, Anthony Davis, you got to play better. I said on this first night, if the Lakers were going to be any good, it was all going to be on you. Had nothing to do with Russell, had nothing to do with LeBron, and the rest of them old-ass geezers they put together out there. But now y'all done crossed the line because I really like Frank Vogel. And listen, it ain't his fault. But listen, in my opinion, I blame Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, you know I like you as a person. But you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You're 27 years old. You're supposed to be in your prime. You're supposed to be one of the 5 best players in the world up there with Giannis, Kevin Durant, and those guys. And you ain't holding up your end of the bargain. So now I hear y'all going to probably go, that's total BS, man. Now I feel better. All right, man. All right, so I want to give me your thoughts on that, man. And I'll go after that. Give me what you think. Is it too early to even consider firing Frank Vogel?
With the Lakers, you don't know what the hell they're going to do. But, yeah, I think it's too early. And Frank Vogel, I'm not saying he's been perfect, but firing Frank Vogel, you better have one hell of a replacement. It could be David Fizdale, maybe someone on another staff, but you better – anybody wants to fire somebody, but you better have a plan. That's all I'm saying. So if you want to fire him, fire him. That's fine. I don't think that's the right decision. But if you want to fire him, you better have a plan. Number 2, the bigger issue I have is the roster. The roster, I kind of agree with Charles Barkley. They're old, and they have way too many guards. And they have a big in DeAndre Jordan. I think he's just been taken out of the rotation. They'll just play him when they need to play him. But they need wings really, really badly. They need wings really, really badly, and they may have to trade THT and Kendrick Nunn to get a player that can help them win right now. Because I love those two guys, especially THT, but he's already won a championship, and I think he just needs his own team, and or a situation where he can just grow as a player. I just don't think this is the right situation for him. This team's trying to win a championship. So, yeah, I agree with Keyshawn. That's why I like Keyshawn. He's the voice of reason. I'm glad they have him on that show. Stephen A. Smith is always yelling. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't even know what he's saying, but he just has to say. But, yeah, it's way too early to panic. But if you do want to have some concern, that's fair. The bigger issue I have is the roster, some of the roster issues they have, and how are they going to address them. Because they have really two assets, and that they can trade, and then they have a few draft picks. But someone made a good point that why would a GM want a draft pick that's like in 2027 if he may not even be there? They want picks that can help them as soon as possible. So it's way too early to panic. Give Frank Vogel time. Give this team time. Give Frank Vogel a better roster to work with. I think they'll be all right. What are your thoughts? I want to hear what you have to say.
All right, so you're 12-12 right now. And if the playoffs end of the day, you'd be the 7th seed in the West. I think the 7th seed's playing is a play-in team, right?
Yeah.
Playoff. All right, so either way, man, even if you survive that, you're gonna face Phoenix or Golden State. But I agree with what Keyshawn said and what Broccoli said, not Stephen A. Smith. But even though Stephen A. Smith has a valid point of what he's saying, I'm still under the mindset of it being a little too early in the season, 24 games in. And I said this before, if you had these issues by the All-Star break, if they're not fixed by then, you could be in trouble. Now, in regards to Charles Barkley, I agree that Andy Davis has to be the guy to carry the Lakers, not LeBron James, going forward. LeBron is at that age where he's having a lot of injuries. I don't think he can play as many minutes and put up the numbers he can put up. I just think he's built for it right now, and I think he needs a lot of help to win another championship. Andy Davis has to come through, man. He has to come through. He's battling injuries. He always get hurt, but it has to be Andy Davis going forward carrying this team. Now, however, they're the 7th seed right now, but it would be better if they can avoid Golden State or Phoenix by getting out of that 7th seed right now. Get out of that 7th seed, get you into a 6th or 5th seed, and avoid that team right now. And play somebody that you have a chance to get beat. You can't. It's not a good idea to play Phoenix or the Suns and Phoenix or Golden State first series of the playoffs. It's not. Now I've said this in the past. I don't think this team's going to the championship, but I expect them to possibly make a run as down the road. But I don't know if they won the championship with this roster. It's an old roster, and it's just gonna take time, bro. Like when players miss time like that, man, you can mess up the rhythm. They can mess up the rotation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's gonna take time for Russ, AD, LeBron just to come together and work. Frank Vogel. If you fire him, like who you bring in? Who you gonna? Tyronn Lue ain't your boy. Tyronn Lue ain't on the coach, ain't on the coaching staff. Who you bring in that gonna lift the team up? I don't know, but Lionel Hollins, man. I don't know.
I can't remember where he's at. I think he's in Memphis now. Yeah, he's in Memphis with Lemoyne Owen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it didn't end well with him and the Lakers. I think it would be David Fizdale. But again, I agree with you. I don't think they should get rid of Fogel. But if they decide to, they better have a plan, because firing a coach, while it may be a temporary fix, it may not be a long-term solution. That would be your ultimate goal. And when I say long-term, I'm talking about with this season, can you ultimately put yourself in a position to win a title? But they got roster issues. If anybody should be fired, it should be Rob Pelinka. I love Rob Pelinka. He's done a solid job, but we all know the real reason why he got that job, because he has a connection with Kobe. And so you take that away. I mean, he's an all right executive. I still think he gave up way too much for that Anthony Davis trade. But, I mean, that's over and done with. I'll try to move forward on that. But, I mean, that he did – and I understand what he's trying to do. He was trying to add some offense to the roster and shot creation. But he didn't get any wing defenders, and that's a big problem. Leo, you –
Dude, what up, man?
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? I'm driving right now. I'm driving right now, and I was just listening to what Bada had to say. You say they gave up too much in the AD trade. The trade got them a championship, bro. I don't even coming in and saying my team gave up too much in the trade when the trade generated a title. Now, if we're going on year 3 with this AD and no title, then you may be right. But you saying that based on how Lonzo and all them turned out. Lonzo turned out to be actually a really good player. And that's what a lot of people saying. We should have gave up Kuzma instead of Lonzo. But at the same time,
I'm glad we didn't get Kuzma, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. But y'all fumbled it. Y'all had Lonzo and literally fumbled him away.
Hey, we got Valanciunas now, man.
What?
I like Valanciunas, man.
That's what you put your franchise block on?
No, I'm just saying. I like the pieces we got now.
Yeah, you got some good pieces, but when the main entree coming back.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that.
Hey,
I don't know, man.
Offensive lineman for Duke coming back.
Hey,
Yeah.
Man, I think I mean, whatever happens with the Pelicans happens, man. I just take it with a grain of salt now with that team, man. But we was talking to the Lakers, man, and if it was too early to fire Frank Vogel right now.
I don't think it's. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I don't think it's too early to say he should be fired, but I don't think he should be fired, because I really think they've had guys. Keep in mind, they haven't played with a full roster the whole year. They're none. When the hell is he coming back? Like they haven't played with a full team the whole season. So Frank Vogel has played he's coached 0 games where he had the full roster. So keep in mind it too before we all say it's the coach's fault. But also at the same time, like I see what Bada said, because they really have like the chemistry issue. They don't look good. Like they need somebody that can control, like not control Westbrook, but like at least try to tell him to calm down, slow the hell down. Like maybe going too fast. Like he's going too fast. Like he's the main person that I would have concerns with. And he's actually my favorite player in the NBA. And I'm starting to have concerns with him because he don't know how to slow the hell down. But and also I feel like other teams in the West have caught up to them. Like no, in 2020 when they won that title, their big two was enough, LeBron and AD. Now all these teams, all these other teams get the big threes and solid big four. Like they might not have the star power, but they got a solid piece like a Phoenix. Phoenix don't have the star power of LA, but they have the pieces. So I noticed teams have copied that, like the Jazz. You got the who else? The Nuggets. Where the Nuggets have a star player, they have solid pieces, and they're starting to take priority over having just the 2 stars. So I think that it's kind of the West catching up with them too.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me add something about why I still think the Lakers gave too much for AD. It'll be really quick. If you look at the trade compared to, like for example, Kawhi, they gave. I'm not talking about like the pieces, they had to give up, like Lonzo, Brandon, and Josh Hart. I'm talking about the draft picks. They gave up way too much for someone that had 1 year left on their contract compared to all the other stars that had 1 year. That's all I was trying to say. They could have legit just given up 1 pick. And then, and hold on, let me finish. The reason was because they weren't negotiating with them. It's not like the Pelicans were going to take another deal. It was the Lakers or nothing else. I mean, they would have definitely. And so They gave up way too much. But go ahead. Let's hear what you have to say.
Can I? He's the New Orleans guy, so he knows the roots of that team. Can you tell me who the Pelicans have drafted with those first round picks? Do you know? I think Nikhil came from that. Nikhil was one of those people. Huh?
Then we took Jackson Hayes too, I think.
Yeah, and he's stuck behind y'all.
That's
Yeah. Go ahead. Jackson Hayes is stuck behind y'all's third string center now, and they took Nikhil, who is a solid guard, but not anything special at all. So Stephen A. said this right about when the Lakers traded for Pau Gasol, when they gave like 2 or 3 first round picks to the Grizzlies for Kwame Brown. He said this: picks don't mean nothing to good teams, Brian. When you're a good team, picks don't mean nothing. Good, like the Lakers are a championship team. There's nobody in the draft, Brian, who we gave up those picks for that would have came in and immediately helped us. Nobody. So picks, like I said, when you're a good team and you're a championship team, you don't need picks.
All right.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Well, that's not the point. That's not the point. Let me explain why you actually could use those picks for future trades, especially during the trade deadline. But that's not a really good point at all. I'm sorry that you're saying
how is that not a good point?
That's an awful point. That's not
you
the
just
point.
said you just said they gave up too many draft picks. What is the purpose of draft picks?
Listen, but let me say this: you don't just give up picks because you may not draft somebody. You give up their assets, and so you use your assets wisely. That's all I'm trying to say. They gave up way too much, and that's all right. I love AD. It's not me knocking AD. These are just the facts. If you ask anybody that understands trades, they'll say they gave up way too much. And so, I mean, that's not really a good point that you're saying who they would have drafted or who the Pelicans drafted. That's not a good point at all, man.
It's not a
we
good
got
point
to
at
agree
all.
to disagree.
Well, first of all, how you gonna say it's not a good point when I just said why would you want to keep players who aren't pieces? First of all, you act like the picks were just like they traded them. They didn't get Kobe Bryant or the next so and so with these picks. So it's not like as if they gave up something. What they don't have any value on this team. Like, and if that's what it took to get AD was those picks, I'm not saying they really don't mean much. Because what I could make an argument is, Brian, ain't nobody that they picked is gonna be better than Anthony Davis. He was the best player involved in that trade. Can we say that?
Of course. This is
okay.
basically what I'm saying, and then we can maybe move on. What I'm saying is those extra picks you gave up, you could have used them, attached them to maybe one of your current players, and let's say you wanted to try to get another piece for this year's team, you could have done it. Would be a whole lot easier. Let me ask you this: what's more valuable, a second-round pick or a first-round pick?
Obviously, a first.
Yeah, and so the Lakers' next first-round pick they can trade is 2027. Who the hell's gonna want that pick? But if they had a pick in 2023, that changes things, and so that's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You can go, DB. Or whoever wants to go. Go.
Go ahead.
All right, man. To me, man, like the Lakers, the whole AD trade, Pelicans picks, get all these picks. To me, right now, the Lakers won the trade. I don't care how much picks we got. Y'all got a championship. Lakers got a championship. They in contention. They're in a better position than the Pelicans. They're the 17 Pelicans. I don't know. Lottery pick. You don't want the trade, man, because y'all better ran than us, man. This ain't like the NFL draft where you gotta think about giving away picks for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Possibly regretting it. This is the NBA draft, man, where these picks, at the most, it's like role players. The most you can get out of these draft picks are role players. It's very rare that you're gonna find a superstar or a star with pick 15, pick 20 You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to trade.
Yeah.
Y'all want to pick right this trade right now because we gonna send they sent Kyrie Lewis, Jackson Hayes, what that guy name is, Trey Young, to the G League, man. We just sent them to the G League today.
What's that? Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. What you about to say?
Yeah, I would just say, what's his name? That's Trey Murphy.
Yeah, Trey Murphy out of Virginia. They're in the G League right now. So we struggling. Y'all got a championship out of this thing, man. We're supposed to be fighting for a playoff spot right now.
New Orleans is supposed to at least be a team that's I would say fighting between the 8 to 10 range, and they're not even that.
Nah, bro. We just a farm system for everybody else. We just people the other teams just rate our roster. You know, they just blow up to be superstars. We're a farm system.
At least y'all got Brandon for the next few years. Ingram.
Man, come on, man.
Now.
This is a time where he's supposed to step up.
Y'all may have to consider trading him.
He just signed a max deal. He just signed a max.
He signed a max deal, man.
If you can get what would you rather have? A really he's a really good player or two really really good players? Like let's say you traded with Indiana and you got Miles Turner and Karis LeVert. Would you do that?
Man, David Griffin, man.
They already got
I don't like this guy, man. Our roster is just jacked up, man. It has potential, man, but I don't think we really messed it up, man. It's just a lot of young guys, man. A lot of young guys that don't know how to win at the next level, man. That's what our roster is.
Oh yeah, one other thing I was gonna say, just because they got the picks and they didn't use them well, that doesn't mean the trade. That's just the one final thing I'll add. Doesn't mean they still the Lakers won the trade because they got the best player. That doesn't mean they still didn't give up too much. Both of those things can still be true. And someone made it good.
Bro, what I told you,
someone made it good.
What I told you, man. What I told you, though. This ain't the NFL. This ain't the NFL. I mean, these picks mean nothing. Them picks in the G League right now.
They mean something, but let me say this.
All right, wait, Brian.
It's how you use them. It's how you use them.
Wait. What pick? What one of those picks we're gonna work well with LeBron?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
they gave up too much.
No, yeah, I'm still saying that. That's what a lot of people. This is what NBA people that cover the NBA. That's what they've said. The Lakers gave up too much.
They say they're not because the Lakers lose.
No, but
they saying everything. They saying everything now. They say everything.
No. If you go back, just when y'all have time, just look up ask on Google. Did the Lakers give up too much for AD?
Yeah, that championship.
But that anyway, never mind. I'm done.
Yeah, I don't bag picks like that, man. I don't.
The Lakers.
In the NBA, I don't bag picks like that, man. I don't even look at the NBA draft like that. Hey, well, let's say what it is, man. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll move on from that. I'll move on from the blasphemy that's coming out of Brian's mouth because I don't want to.
You think this is for Derek Cook?
Oh. I'm sorry, waiting on you, DB. Now,
what's up with the Raiders?
Hey, DB, I think
fraud.
Shut up, Brian.
What's up?
No, like DB, I just think that we can't. Like you were right. I think you said this a few weeks ago. Us not having a head coach is starting to come back to hunt us because in late game decisions, we don't have a guy who's making like a solid decision. We have a guy he's not a head coach. Like he ain't even been a head coach. So like you can just tell like, and also we know of having late. We started if I'm not mistaken, we started 5-2, and we're 6-6. We're
again, man.
DB, like we beat the Cowboys. It's like we beat the Cowboys, and that was our freaking Super Bowl. Like,
bro, what man?
Uh-huh.
What happened, man?
No, it's a matter of this team is not like, and I'm blessed enough to have the league pass, so I watch every game. We
Yeah.
have every game we have DB. Our defense gets worse in the games. Like our offense these last few games, besides the Cowboys games, has been horrible. We're settling for too many field goals. We're not throwing the ball on first and second. We're not even on third down. We're throwing the ball too much. Actually, we're not setting her up the run. Our run game has been horrible. Josh Jacobs cannot stay healthy. When he is healthy, he's not producing as much as he was his first few years. So it's a combination of a lot of things. And also, I feel like teams have figured us out. If you limit Derek Carr, you can win. Because we're six. When he don't throw for 200 yards, we're toast. I don't think he threw for 300 yards against the Redskins. We're toast. We don't win if he don't throw. So teams with good corners give us problems. Like the Redskins, we forget that Redskin team is on a 4-game win streak that we just lost to. So, and I think they'll beat Dallas. So it's just a combination of bad defense, lack of offense when we need it, selling for too many field goals, and really Derek Carr has to be perfect every game or we're not going to win. Those are the 3 issues, in my opinion.
What you think, Brian?
I don't care. The Raiders are irrelevant for now. I'm just worried about my Titans if we can get that number 1 seed.
Man, the Titans can kiss my black behind. Y'all are just, man. I can't say everything I want to say on the air, but let's just say this. I hope y'all get y'all butts pounded in the playoffs. I mean, pounded.
I'm telling y'all, man. Look,
well, you probably will.
The Chargers are. If the Chargers or the Bengals get in, bro, they can send somebody home, bro.
Yeah,
they can send somebody home. And I'll say, y'all, man, what's the deal with Baltimore, man? What y'all think is wrong with that, man? I think it's old line.
Go ahead, Brian.
Lamar getting tore up, man.
I think they're all right.
They've lost 3
injuries. That's what really hurt them.
Brian, they haven't scored 18 points. They've scored 18 points in 3 of the last 4 games. They haven't scored over there. That shows that offensively teams are starting to figure them out for who they are. If you let Lamar throw, and while Lamar is a good thrower, I think his throwing is actually underrated. I think he's not good enough to win a game by himself with just his arm. And also, teams are learning to keep him in the pocket. I know while he's still getting a lot of rushing yards, like you have to just watch the games. He's not as much of a threat. Like teams are still trying to containing him, and so I feel that really teams are figuring them out. They're starting to figure them out. And the question is, Brian and DB, when they get to the playoffs, can they really? Like, I think Baltimore is still a bad matchup in the playoffs for any team, but I don't think they're like last year's team. Like where I was happy that they took care of Tennessee, but like I don't know if this team could beat Tennessee this year. Type shit. I don't know.
You think they could beat them?
I think they could beat Tennessee
without Derrick Henry. Without Derrick Henry.
Keep in mind the Giants did lose to the Texans, so a team that's 2-10. So
they
didn't just lose; they got their asses whooped.
They surprised us. Tyrod came in there, and we helped them with 5 turnovers, so that should be pointed out too. But we'll see.
Man, look, Baltimore, bro. I think if you got a good pass rusher on your D line, you get after Lamar, man. That's good because the Dolphins did it. The Steelers got after him. And what other game that they lost? The Bengals got after him.
Bengals got after them like real good. Like they took care of him.
Yeah, like you get after Lamar, man. I'm not saying he's been figured out yet, but you can slow him down with some good pass rushers.
Yeah.
And the old line playing bad, but I gotta get at with the head coach John Harbaugh for that decision, man. That was costly right there. That was foolish.
I disagree, but go ahead.
You got a good field goal kicker, Justin Tucker.
No, that was the right decision.
No, bro.
That was the right decision.
Sending that bad boy to overtime. Dude, Rosenberger was sucking.
You go for the win.
DB, they were
you
down.
Know me, I'm an analytics guy. You go for the win, baby. You go for the win.
No.
If you want to say the play call is bad, You want to say the play call was bad? I agree with you, but you go for the win. I disagree there.
Play call was good. They just ain't executed. Well, I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have did it.
So wait, but if they had scored, would you have said the same thing?
I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. Hey man, hey, that's the business. That's the nature of the business. That's the nature of the business. You do something bad, you do something, controversial. I gotta talk about it. It's content. But hey, man, look, now you the third seed staring at New England. I hate New England, by the way, because
I know everybody
they
hates
just keep doing this stuff. They keep doing this stuff, man. Without go ahead.
Hold up, Ryan. No.
What's up?
No. Hold up, DB. No. I wasn't talking to y'all. Y'all go ahead.
They just keep doing this stuff without their roster is good and all that, but I don't see no superstars on this team. You know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
You got Matt Judon, who's a good pickup. You got McCourty back there, who's like 33, 35 years old, still balling. You got the guy at Alabama, Christian Barmore, Kendrick Bourne, he's okay. Nelson Aguilar, Damon Harris. They're not really. I mean, he's not big names. You know.
Ramondre Stevenson. You hear him, DB?
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson. I'm sorry I didn't mean to chip in, but hey, Brian, I ain't gonna lie. He made me give Oklahoma running back some more respect last night. He was finding holes yesterday. He was making spaces out of nothing. Like I thought it was one time he'd lose like 5 guys, Brian. I thought this guy he might be the next special thing because he looked good last night against Buffalo, by the way. But go ahead, DB. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, you good, man, but this is like a boring team. You know what I'm saying? Nothing flashy about New England. But I want to ask y'all this too. Did Josh Allen? A lot of people. I got a lot of these takes online on social media, radio show to say that Josh Allen failed yesterday. He failed his assignment in regards to him being a big game quarterback. What do y'all think? Because he couldn't get him in the end zone. New England would not let him get throwing there in the red zone.
I think it was good defense, but I see their point. Josh Allen has to play better for the Bills to get where they want to be. Because they have a solid defense, pretty solid offensive weapons. The quarterback, when he's hot, you want him on your team. When he's not, you're like, why they may need to bench him. But yeah, I'll give credit to New England's defense. They made some really good defensive plays.
Yeah.
I think really I mean you gotta give New England their credit. Like New England played, they beat the Bills at the best way that you could beat the Bills, which is play great defense. They beat the Bills playing the Bills way. And keep in mind, y'all, who is the one person who has owned New England, who has owned Buffalo for the last 20 years? Bill.
Yep.
He has owned them. I mean, owned them. So, yeah, can you really be surprised at what happened last night? The Bills in a slow muckum game where you're gonna have Mac Jones throws 3 passes, 3 for 12 yards. This guy dominate. They dominate the line of scrimmage. They was just keep in mind, Belichick is a defensive guy. This guy got his money off defense. So I had a feeling, this Buffalo team, they're not going to beat New England at being New England. They not. I don't think Buffalo's ready. I think they got exposed last night that they can't win muck 'em up games. They're a pretty boy finesse team offensively. Defensively, they're really good. But y'all, I think New England. I told y'all, New England would surprise y'all when they were 4-4. So they're at 9-4 now. So, well, if I'm not mistaken, they're 9-4. Yeah, or 8.
Man.
Yeah.
Buffalo getting going scared because they play at Tampa Bay next, man.
Woo!
Or at Tampa Bay. And
That's gonna be a problem. But that
what was
defense,
crazy, what was crazy about the game was that Buffalo knew they was going to run the football, and he couldn't do nothing about it.
yeah, that's another thing. That Patriots run game. Give credit to Josh McDaniels. Did a good job scheming it, and those running backs and that offensive line. They went to work last night against the Bills.
Why is he not a head
Do
coach?
y'all think? Do y'all think Josh McDaniels will finally become a head coach again?
He
Yes.
probably should have got another shot, but y'all know why he got fired from Denver, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I don't know why he got fired. Can you tell me?
Well, he was like spying on another team, and then also what he did to the Colts. That's probably the main reason why. He basically had the job and then pulled out at the last minute. So, but I think he should get. I was always thinking he would be the heir apparent to Belichick. But who knows how long Belichick's going to coach? So I feel like if he gets another opportunity, he'll take it. But we'll see.
I think he'll go in New York, man.
That would be nice.
To the
He'll
Jets
go
or
to
the
New York.
Giants, because I think both teams could fire their coaches.
You think they'll fire Sailor, man?
No,
Already?
he'll be there.
They're not competitive. They're not competitive no more. Like the Jets used to be competitive. They were getting their butts whooped, but they were at least competitive. They're not competitive no more. I think the Giants will keep Judge because they're at least besides the Tampa Bay game, the Giants have been competitive in every game this year.
Yeah,
But they sloppy though. They sloppy though.
They are sloppy, but Judge is only if you go keep Sally after a sluggish year one. Can you tell me Judge can get one more year? I think Judge gets one. Cause I was watching a retain or sitting on an airplane for session for Colin Cowherd by NFL coaches. He was saying he would keep Joe Judge because the team's competitive every year. Defensively, they're elite. Like they're almost elite defensively. They haven't. Keep in mind, he never had Saquon for 16 games. He had never had Daniel Jones for 16 games. Keep in mind. How you know that they even have the right quarterback running back duo? You gotta keep that in mind. So, and they never had healthy receivers or healthy tight end or great O-line. So, I would say keep Joe Judge and let him thug it out another year. But I know y'all disagree. So, go ahead.
Did they pay Saquon yet?
No.
Did Saquon get paid yet?
No.
Ain't good to have an injury before you get paid, man.
Yeah.
It ain't good for a running back. Kenny Galladay robbing money, man.
Oh, yeah. He's stealing money. DB, I don't know.
Is.
DB, when's the last time he had a catch? I don't know.
The Saints?
Of course.
Hey, fellas, I got to head out.
All right, man. We'll shut it down from here, man. All right. That's all we have for y'all for right now. Give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Visit us on YouTube. Listen to this through Apple. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave a comment. Have a blessed night. Peace. We out.